Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 4 here in the Owls Esports League Season 4. And with today's round being in one of the most notorious tracks on the calendar, one of the most difficult ones. Already last season round, we had few DNFs here and a surprise win by Cook, who is currently leading the championship in the Visa Cash App RB. Today will be a special round to see who can score points and who can be our first point scorer of the season, and maybe see some teams jump around. For P2 in the standings and the teams, we have Mercedes, McLaren, and Red Bull fighting for that P2 spot, but all aboard across the road we have all sorts of positions that can be swapped around. So let's get right into it here, with the circuit length being 3.337 kilometers long. First Grand Prix held in the 1950s, the first ever F1 season to be held had the Monaco Grand Prix here, and the fastest lap, also lap record held by Lewis Hamilton 2021 being a 1:12.909. That definitely getting beaten in today's round, as these cars are quite faster and a bit faster than what we know in real life. Of course, that is from a fastest lap in the race setting position. But let's see, today we have a few last minute changes. Joker goes to Red Bull. That was a switch that came late. And Hyper goes to Aston Martin. They were supposed to be Hyper was supposed to be in the McLaren, but that is being switched. F1 Raw is not going to be with us tonight. Here we see a quarter cut to save time. 50. It says 60 minutes on the time. We only drive for 15 minutes before free practice comes to an end. Hyper, of course, was in the McLaren, and Joker was supposed to be in the. Let's have a look here. Joker was supposed to be on the list, but now is on the Red Bull team. Of course, that was with a last minute switch. In the standings, of course, HB Cook is absolutely leading our grid here with 11 points. Then it is his teammate, Jamboy is leading his teammate Cook by 11 points. And then it's the Mercedes of El Falcono, and then the Red Bull of Leo. Of course, last season champion was Leo fighting against Cook in the championship. Now Cook needs to find has found a new championship rival here in this season. A few wall taps there by the Alpine behind the kick Sauber, I believe that being the kick Sauber of Jake. Of course, Jake was known as Joe, his old nickname in the game. Now it's being Jake as 7, so still the same driver as we know before, just a little bit of a name switch in the game. Of course, behind also the championship for P2. It's still an open fight in the Drivers' Championship between the Mercedes of El Falcono, the Red Bull of Leo, and the McLaren Mercedes of Sev. I just noticed, I believe there's no in-game audio for you guys. There we go. A quick fix there. And, of course, 19 corners here in this notorious Monaco Grand Prix. Difficult sections up and down. Has a lot of elevation change as well, so the cars do get upset quite easy. Tight corners, walls everywhere. No runoff as known as a normal race circuits, but it is quite a feisty track. We might have a lot of action tonight here in Monaco. A few sectors, a few yellow flags. Let's have a look who that might be. So that is the telemetry. Let's have a look at the track map. Of course, that looks to be to let faster drivers by. Let's also have the lap data on. Important information for us to see how fast the driver is going throughout the lap. El Falcone and the Mercedes is currently taking fastest overall. Well, 1:11.609. That is quite a good lap so far. We might see that getting beaten as the session goes on, as qualifying approaches fast. Last season round, it was rain in the race session, which made it even more difficult for the drivers to have a clean race, so to say. Of course, this track quite difficult, but of course I was in an F1 24 game, now being an F1 25 game. The handling is way different. The cars do not snap in as they do in the last game, but that makes the car a little more stable and more aggressive to drive and easier to handle, as the car does what you tell it to and not how fast just your steering inputs do answer to the car. So let's have a look here. We are following Jake, who is currently third overall. Frank Bernoulli in the Ferrari has retired, I believe, either for a crash or just does not want to. Either did retire for a crash, which looks to be the bigger part of why the Ferrari isn't in the session anymore. But this shows how different this track is. But here we see the Alpine going purple sector 2. Could we maybe see an improvement for the fastest lap overall? Let's also have a look on tire so far. I am noticing a bit of a harder compound, so drivers are looking at how maybe the car drives for the race setting. 50% race, so around half length, around 30 laps or so. We will figure that one out once the session goes on. I believe I saw 39 laps of pure hard racing here in Monaco, and that could be close. Having a look at the times, Jake just nearly missed on the top spot by a tenth, nearly 2 tenths. So really close by. Liam in the Aston Martin, 3 tenths behind Dad. It's very close so far in the grid. So far the top 3 are separated by a few tenths of a second, but then it jumps up a little bit. So maybe we might have a few groups racing here in Monaco on the same track. Blue flags are sadly not going to be an issue. I say sadly, as they will go easier for the drivers, but less action for us here in the commentary booth and for you viewers. So let's have a look also out. We have a few drivers behind as well. The Williams of the Love Magnet hasn't validated, so I have a few others, I believe. Let's have a look out. Joker started his lap here, and we'll jump on a championship leader who's currently hasn't set a lap yet on the soft tires. Let's have a look where our championship leader is going so far. He's about to start his lap now, going for the final corner in the V-Cup Racing Bull. The white Red Bull is a really nice thing to look at in this game. It's really nice in the Monaco night sky. Something you wouldn't see in a real life scenario, as of course Monaco isn't a night race, but in this game it is very possible to do this, and so we have seen here a bit of blockage by the Haas there around turn 4. The casino section, and now through the hairpin, pardon me, Nouvelle chicane is the later for the hotel hairpin. Of course, the hotel being right there, and you're getting spot. Oh, the Williams using a bit of front end plates on the left hand, on the right hand on X of turn 7. Looks to be a corner where a lot of cars do seem to understeer quite a bit. Of course, high wings today, lots of downforce generated by these cars. Of course, the downforce gets generated by faster the car drives, and Monaco isn't really an easy thing to do. We follow Jamboy, hasn't gone purple sector 2. Let's have a look if that could be very easily a way to jump up the spots up into the top position, or maybe even the first position here in practice. 6 minutes to go until the session comes to an end. Of course, you can do your final laps before that comes. And here we are, Jamboy, nearly 2 tenths up on FL Corner and goes fastest overall on his first ever lap here on Monaco in this weekend session. There's quite a lap to be seen in a banker lap scenario. Of course, the first lap is never actually the lap you are going for. A lot of practice being held here, I believe, so that is hopefully the laps that we might see in the qualifying session after the practice here. But we also have to think the other drivers are going for a different tire compound. Cook, second place in the championship, is on the hard compounds. His teammate, Jamboy's teammate. Let's have a look where, after this outlap, where they put that V-Cup on. You also see a few drivers, for example, the McLaren of Harvey going for a bit of a race scenario here. 5 laps, and it does look like he's still going on. A lot going on in practice sessions. See drivers going for fastest laps. Hey, Falcone beats Jamboy by 2 tenths of a second after his that good bank lap he's done, and he's beaten him. And we see now Harvey has gone in after 5 laps. I believe enough knowledge to know how the car handles in a race scenario. Of course, it's a bit different to do everything. So if you have also cars behind going for fast laps. Let's have a look who else could be going on. Joker. Leo in P6, last season round champion after having an extensive battle with Cook till the end of the session. And it looks to be that Leo hasn't validated his lap right at the start, so that soft tire is not going to come in hand for now. Also, some drivers are saving their soft tire for the qualifying session. Let's have a look how that will end up as well. So Jake is now is I believe stopped. He's scraping the wall there. Could be what is going on in the Alpine there by Jake scraping every kind of wall. That damage needs to be repaired. Let's hope he has enough time to go back out onto the track. Oh dear, and he retires. Oh, and he's nearly upside down. He's on his side. In the final corner, I believe he hasn't had enough practice. He's decided it's not worth it and going into the wall at a speed that is quite fatal for the car. So we have 2 retirements so far, but of course about 3 minutes. In about 3 minutes, everyone needs to have the final laps and retire from the session, which we will see soon. But of course, on the top board, Liam has gone out for a fresh set of softs. Let's have a look where that Aston Martin sets himself up tonight. Of course, his teammate being a one-time switch for tonight's session. Hyper being in the second Aston Martin and P13. Also got a fresh set of softs. Let's have a look where these Aston Martins can bring themselves. Of course, Leo last time round in Season 3 has won the championship in the Aston Martin and has switched back onto the Red Bull. That doesn't seem to have as much luck as he had last time round, but F1 and sim racing is a sport where there can be luck and bad luck all around. But Liam, and with the fresh softs, has set a fastest lap of a 1:10.8. The first driver to set the times onto 1:10s, and I believe that is also it for him. He has enough time to go back or do another lap, I believe, with his battery charging and in the back there. Oh dear. And careful, that is quite easy to do with the bump on the X of turn 4 through turn 5 here. That happened where Nico Rosberg has done a bit of a shocking surprise in one of the 2016 a qualifying session. Hopefully we won't see something like that happen now. Of course, yellow flags do mess up some drivers' times, but need to be careful not to cause too many yellow flags. Stewards might get a hold on what is planned. G-Booth, I just saw him jumping from last place up to 14th for 1:13.4 on his fresh set of softs. Every driver now is doing the final lap on the fresh set of softs. Jambo, I believe, is one driver. Oh, that we need to look at. Oh, out of turn 7, hits the outside wall. Debris has flown away, but I believe his front wing is still intact. A bit wobbly through the tunnel section and now through the Nouvellier chicane. We see the car ahead cuts the chicane. It's the Alpine, but lets the V car through. And I believe with that tire warming, the Jambo might be looking to maybe do another lap after this. He has enough time to do so. On the back, we see a McLaren of Harvey also going for a hot lap. That looked like a good swimming pool chicane there. A very fast, flat section. Now here's the Alpine up in front. Careful with the dirty end. This game, the dirty air does really mess you up. In F1 24, the dirty air was barely noticeable, as I myself have driven a few races on that game. In this game, it's way more difficult to follow a car around, which is way more realistic and more difficult in a situation like this, where Monaco, of course, you need to have all performance of the car following you. And that was the Alpine up in front, going into the barrier, and I believe ending that session. No, they're still going up and behind, but in about 30 seconds, every driver needs to decide if they can do another lap or retire from the session. One driver who hasn't done a lap yet is the Kick Sauber Thumbs. We looked at them at the beginning of the session, and it's interesting that they haven't managed to put a lap together yet. They have enough time to maybe start one last lap, but this one could be a good one. Good through sector 2, careful with the walls through sector 3. Liam retires, and so do a few others. So now it looks to be the end of the session for some drivers. I believe not long until everyone ends their session as well. And Fams, this ends their session in a strong P15. Fram Nunuli, of course, retired before even managing to put a lap in. Bit of practice lost there. But that is something that needs to be counted. Could have been a mistake. Could have been on purpose. I have missed the crash, so that is to be asked for later on. Few last drivers going for the last lap. We see the Williams of Juan going through. I believe that is Juan. Spelled Juan. So through the swimming pool chicane, middle sector, fastest overall, purple there. Let's have a look if they maybe can beat Liam's time of 110.8. But it looks to be tough. It's already going through the start of the straight. It's only 1.108, 110, and crosses the line in P7, 112.3. Lost out, I believe, in Sector 1 and Sector 3, and with that, I believe all the drivers have also decided to end the session. I think Ben W. Ben is the last driver to do a lap, so maybe Hyper as well. Let's have a look. Hyper is going to be the first driver off the cars, still on track to end the session. On board with the SLR through the tunnel section. Scraping the floor there, and now through the Nouvelle chicane. Go for the inside there, easy to do a mistake. Lots of wheel spin on the exit, and now through Tabak. Oh, lost the rear end and hit the wall. Doesn't seem to be too big of an issue. Purple sector 2, through the swimming pool, second bonus swimming pool chicane, and does well there. Through Rascas, nicely held together, and now through the final corner. A lot of wheel spin on the exit, and that's going to be quite a bit of an issue for many drivers across the line in P10. It's his session there. The Kicksalber of Ben will be next to cross the line. Let's have a look where he brings the Kicksalber on. Kicksalber, of course, today got the first podium. Hülkenberg got the first podium. And P8 finishes Ben, hits the wall, and I believe Juan gone into the pit, so that his session will be over. And so once the Kicksalber DNFs, it will be over. There we go. And with that, qualifying comes to an end. And I will take a small break as well. We will be back for qualifying. Qualifying will start any second now. Camera in the pit lane. Who will be the first rider to go out to start their lap? We will look down the pit lane. Everyone is choosing their fuel, choosing the setup carefully. Once they go out, Park Firma will set them for that setup for the entirety of the weekend. Who will be the first one to decide to go out? 19 drivers, and I believe I see some movement there in the V-Cup garage. And yes, Martin as well. That's the Alpine garage, so it's going to be an Alpine out first. Let's have a look if we can guess who first. It is Jake, the first car out on track. On a cold Monaco track. Here at night, dry forecast so far. Bit of wheel spin over the exit, and we heard that little scream of the tires there. And with that, let's have a look how this is gonna go on in the session. The Alpine Jake will be the first that we see an Aston Martin behind following, and a Ferrari. Something that we haven't seen yet in the practice session. A Ferrari, of course, I believe that it's Jumbo. And then a Red Bull following through. Then a Haas, a Mercedes, a Kick-Sauber. I believe that is the second Alpine following through. So let's have a look of the Alpine currently we are watching right now. Jake do the first out lap. Cuts the corner there, of course, to the chicane. You can go play a bit of track limits through there. Okay, so the out lap does not count for any time gained. You are just cutting the time to maybe have enough to start a second lap, and also to save as much tires as possible. So the Alpine of Jake starts his first lap here in Monaco for the season here in Olds Esports, and goes through turn 1, lost the end a little bit, very aggressive up the hill. Up towards turn 3. Goes through quite nice. Oh, and hits the inside and retires from the session. That is unlucky. That was quite the impact. That was a little impact. But that ends his qualifying session very early. And he retires on qualifying into turn 4, into the casino section by turning in just a touch too early, and that's his qualifying over. There will be I believe it was an Aston Martin first across. Let's have a look if it's not. Liam has invaded his lap. Hyper's on an out lap. Jimmer was the next car starting his lap, so let's have a look where Jimbo, of course, first car to probably complete a lap in the Ferrari here. That's through the swimming pool chicane, and now through Rascas. That's a Williams in front, and a lot of wheel spin out of Rascas. The Williams wanted to let him through, but then, of course, decides otherwise as he's starting his lap. So 1:13.1, not the best of the best we saw in the practice session. That seems to be a okay banker lap so far, but of course in Monaco it does count if you finish you already in a good position. William beats a time by 1:12.0, and then there's a Kick-Sauber behind by Ben, and beats it with a 10.9, and that looks already closer to what we saw the top runners doing in practice. And it's a Mercedes behind, about to cross the line of FR but embedded his lap, so that will knock up a Cook. In the Visa Cash App goes fastest, 1:10.902, 300ths faster than the kicks out of Ben. So Cook looking to maybe decrease the gap between him and his teammate for the championship lead. Jambo is looking to maybe go out later. We have an Aston Martin about to cross the line. There is Hyper, but Liam, pardon me, Liam was the Aston Martin, goes fast over 1:10.4, and that's already 5 tenths faster than what we saw in the practice session, the fastest lap overall. There will be a Red Bull crossing line after, but I believe that is a Red Bull. There's a kick, a V Cup. So Ferrari about to cross the line as well, but doesn't seem to be a valid lap. So let's have a look. The next car, of course, closing in onto the end lap is the V Cup of Cook, but he has completed his lap. I believe there's a Williams behind as well, about to go into the pit lane, and the Red Bull we were on board before. Let's have a look if the Alpine might have a lap, but no, hasn't validated his lap. Quite easy to do here in Monaco. Something that's not easy to weird to say is Monaco has rarely any track limits, but this is now interesting because Monaco has rarely any track limits. Like, of course, where track limits can be taken as turn 1 or the Nouvelle chicane, or the swimming pool chicane for that matter. Of course, the white line being the track limits, just inside of the curb, and you're already out of it. And if you're pushing all inches of the track, it's quite easy to slide just above that limit and make a mistake. So that is on a track like this where walls are track limits. It's still easy to go over the track limits in corners where the walls aren't the track limits, and that's quite one thing that we see often happening. I believe Red Bull is about to start his lap up in front. Let's have a look. That might be Leo. No, Leo is on his lap. Pardon me there. So let's have a look how that will go. Okay, the top right sector 3, but decides to abandon that lap so far. There will be a Alpine crossing the line. That is the Alpine of Lewis, and crosses the line in P6, 6th overall. And cuts the corner, of course. That's an Aston Martin about to cross the line as well. That is the Aston Martin of... Now, well, it was the Aston Martin of Hyper, which I just barely missed. Hyper goes to P4 overall. 11 minutes left in the session, and it is a qualifying session was quite close for top 3, and then of course it kind of jumps up a little between P4, but then very close from P4 on. So a qualifying session where everything that a driver has to get from the car will be asked on the track like this. Next out cross line will be a Haas. I believe that is the Haas of William about to start his lap. No, that was the Haas of MB starting his lap here. Now had an invalidated lap, but goes a bit wide through turn 3. That is not the optimal line, but then goes through turn 4. Carrying a bit more speed, but will that help? Sector 1 was not good. Didn't improve much there, but of course for his first lap that will be a set. Jamboy, championship leader, goes fastest by 0.003 of a second, faster than Liam, and that is a very close qualifying session, with the track getting ever so slightly greener by the minute. The longer the session goes, the better the track grip will become, and Jamboy took the advantage so far. Has put his Visa Cash App up there in top position. Will he keep that pole position? Maybe, maybe not. We will have a look. So on. We have a few more cars. So like Kicks are about to cross the line. That is the kick of Thumbs starting his lap, but of issues through practice session. But now MB crossed the line 113.3. It's an okay lap there, putting him in the midfield so far. And let's have a look at his teammate William about to complete his lap as well in the Haas, looking where he might put that Haas there, and does not improve in position, but does improve in time. 1:11.6. I believe that does improve it. He improved by 1 position ahead of Lewis, just close by 1 position further up the grid. Is always wanted in Monaco. Turn 1 will be quite a chaos, as of course with all these cars about to go into turn 1, everyone wants to have the perfect exit out there. So let's have a look. Look at the time board. There's an Aston Martin about to cross the line as well. That could be Hyper, or Liam. That is Hyper across the line, but no improvement there. Was 8 seconds down. It was a slow out lap, but it was a second lap out. So look where Hyper might bring the car. Ferrari across the line. No improvement there. That is the Ferrari of Jumbo. Let's have a look at the Kick Sauber behind him. If he's starting his lap, there's the Kick Sauber Thumbs. About to start another lap. He's 10 seconds down, and with that, looks to be starting another lap in the Kick Sauber there. Through turn 1. A lot of curb on the inside, taken without invalidating his lap. That is how much you can take before, of course, using either the car or going over the track limits. Then through sector 2, turn 5, right-hander hairpin. Few names here, but difficult to get them right. Of course, French names. Monaco has a lot of French names, but difficult to get them all right. So I'm going to say the corner numbers through there. Through turn 8, through the tunnel section now. Turn 9, a long right-hander, flat through here with these cars. And now through the Nouvelle chicane. Careful with the inside wall there. Easy to just unlodge the tire from the car, as we saw Jake do in turn 4. That is easy to do there again. El Falcone, Mercedes goes fastest. 110.371. 1/10 more 900s and 9,000s faster than Jamboy, nearly getting a 4/10 out of there. But that is a lot of time on a track like this. On a short track, 1/10 means a lot more than you think. Thumbs goes improves in sector 2 and goes improving into 12th place, or 112.98. There's a V cap, but across the line at the back. That is, pardon me, that's the Red Bull of Owl's Joker starting his lap. Now, of course, it's a bit difficult to differentiate 3 cars from the minimap between a Red Bull, V cap, and a Williams. They have nearly the same tint of blue, so often I'm guessing there. My apologies on that. Yeah, Alpine has started his lap in 10th. That is Lewis starting his fast lap now, going through sector 1, turn 3. Nice on the inside there, slightly losing the car, but has caught it. And now through turn 4, bit wide on the exit there. I believe he has touched the inside, but managed to keep it together through the hairpin. Nicely done, keeping all the grip together. Now through turn 8, difficult exit to get right, but he does get it. And now through the tunnel section, turn 9, right-hander, easy to be done with no damage. And now through the double chicane. No, and he's done what he said he's done. Oh, he's done. He's clipped the inside and broke his tire, same way his teammate did. And that is the 2 Alpines out before the end of the session. That is heartbreaking. Lewis was going for a good lap there, but was just too eager on the inside and clipped the inside tire and retired from the session. Ferrari, of course, I believe was on a lap, but decided to cut it to start another lap. And there's a Williams starting about to cross the line there. There's the Williams of Love Magnet. Slow through there, so I believe he starting another lap. That's an interesting one to be said. He slows down with slowing down there. So my this lap probably putting more heat on the tires. Wasn't happy with how he set the car up. Probably not enough temperatures for his liking. So he goes for another prep lap, which is always normal to see often. It's not just out lap, fast lap, in lap. It could also be 2 prep laps and then the fast lap. And I believe that is what the Williams is doing here. The Haas has crossed the line at the end. That's MB, but I believe had an improved position. The Mercedes parked it right there to let the Williams through. And the next car to cross the line will be the Mercedes of El Falconer, but or not. It's a Mercedes of G-Booth, who hasn't completed a lap yet. Down with all the other drivers who haven't done a lap, and that is again in the validation. I believe he doesn't have much time left to start a lap, so he needs to look. So there's debris lying on the track inside there of Tabak. One car might have hit the wall too hard on the outside, and that looks to be not the appropriate setup for a lap. So let's have a look if the Mercedes of G-Booth has gone. There we go. Let's have a look if G-Booth goes. He has completed his lap. Pardon me, we are looking at the wrong car. It's the game did not jump. But 113.5, slowest overall, but has completed this lap. So we'll start ahead of 3 cars. My mistake through there. Will he take another lap to go for, or will this be it for his session? He might not have enough time to go back in and put a new set of tires on that car. We see a Red Bull going through the final sector. That is maybe the Red Bull of Leo. That is the Red Bull of Leo. So on his out lap, about to start his lap now. Opens the eyes and goes for his lap. So let's have a look where he comes now. Through turn 1. A lot of speed. Could have taken more inside on curb on the inside there, but kept a nice amount of speed through there. Now through turn 3. Hugs the inside, lets the car slide out, but then catches back to go through turn 4. Nicely done on the inside there. Now through turn 5. Careful with the inside. It's easy to go just a bit too much. Now through the hairpin. Good line. Could have taken a bit more exit there, but it's all nice. So through turn 7 and 8. Double right-hander. Kept a lot of speed through there. Will this be enough? Sector 1 was not fast enough for purple. Will sector to be fast enough to maybe put himself up in a fighting contention for a win or a podium. Kicks out, but leaves him through. Now through Tabak, left-hander. Just a slight lift, and now flat through the swimming pool section. And now through the second part of it, slows down just enough, catches enough curb through Raskas. Will this be enough? Sector 2 was not fastest overall, but will this put him up in the fighting contention for the top 5? Top 4. Leo gets it with a 110.765. The Alp behind, I believe, crosses the line. That is the Williams of Juan starting his lap. So let's see where he might put in the dying stages of qualifying. Through the left-hander. A lot of speed carried through there. Touches the inside just slightly. Goes through the bump out of turn 4. Touches the outside on the entry of turn 5. Doesn't lose too much of the car. Through the hairpin. Goes a bit wide. Carries more speed though through turn 7. Now through turn 8. This is going to be a good lap to put him even in the top 5 contention as well. Liam retires from this session. Of course, he has done his lap. And I believe he is happy being only the one driver going below the 110s. No one can touch him there. He's fast overall. But Jamboy couldn't have gone faster than when he has done also retires. But that was a wall tap out of Tabak by the Williams. There's more debris laying there in the end of the swimming pool section. So now through the final corner, the Williams lost a bit of rear end, goes for the line and improves by 1 position, goes on P8. A Red Bull behind will cross it as well. I believe that is Leo going for another lap, but was not fast enough, so ends his session there. The Haas driver ends in P10. And let's have a look with the V-carb of, I believe that's Cook still going on, but hasn't validated his lap. Then it's the Ferrari of Jimbo just behind. Is on a lap, but that looks to be a bit slower. 2 tenths down on up in sector 2. Down in sector 2, so lost more time there. He needs to have a flying sector 3 if he wants to improve. And loss of rear end there through Raskas. Now through the final corner. Opens his DS and looking to hopefully improve just a little bit. Crosses the line and did not improve. As the Mercedes behind stays in P2 as well. Believe had a slight improvement, but not enough to go for fighting contention. Then it's a Williams of Juan going for double lap, but it's 3 seconds down in sector 2. Was not looking good, but then Ben invalidated his lap, so that's nothing more. Leo, of course, has completed his qualifying. There will be a Haas also completed, so once these drivers go in, it is going to be the session over. And with that, qualifying comes to an end. So with that, oh dear, that kicks over engineer really is maybe happy with P5, but let's have a look at this final standings for the race. So Liam, fastest in the Aston Martin, followed by the Alfa Romeo Mercedes, 4.5 tenths nearly down. Then Jamboy, championship driver, 3rd. Ben, 4th. Leo, Red Bull, last season champion, P5. And then it is Cook, P6, Joker P7, Juan in the Williams P8, Hyper P9, and Williams complete our top 10 here in Alts Esports. Yeah, I will rejoin you back for the race, which will happen in a few minutes time. Of course, all the drivers need to set the car up just enough. So this will be the final start before the race weekend comes to an end. So race session here in Monaco, 39 laps of pure racing in the night sky, and it looks to be dry, so no surprises like last time round. So let's see where the drivers can put themselves. So this is going to be a session where all drivers can gain points. Of course, it is going to be expected that some drivers might have a bit of a different weekend altogether. And so let's have a look how it will end today. With a few seconds left, I believe the race will start in 21:50 European, Central European time zone. Let's have a look how long until some drivers need to make it first. So formation lap. And we have a full grid. Some drivers who couldn't make it are back now. Liam takes off first on the grid. Let's have a look at the tire situation. That is the position. Let's look at the tire situation. So mediums may fully across the board, with just a few drivers going soft and hard. Falcone looking to maybe get the jump on Liam on the soft compound, and Hyper looking to maybe prolong his stint, to maybe look for a better qualifying, for better second stint on the softer compound. So there's a look for Loveman and Harvey in last place. I believe the McLaren, after having a bad qualifying session, decides to go for a hot first stint on the soft compound. That's all tires need to be heated up properly. Of course, in real life now, it's all the drivers need to go through all the settings and to get the car up to temps and up to standards. But in the game, it is just you, driver, and the tires you need to look out for. You need to be careful not to use them too much. Of course, it is easy to wear them out in the formation by weaving too much or scraping walls. It can also increase tire wear. And the difficult part ever since F1 2022 is setting your car, F1 2021, setting your car in the right grid box. If you go just a bit behind or forward, you might have a suboptimal start. Let's have a look, and oh, we already see a car teleporting in the back. So, if I call a P2 driver will drive on a bad stint on cold tires, so will Leo, so will Hyper, so will MB, so will Fans. A few drivers have missed out on that perfect grid start, and so that will drive on bad tire temps and half a meter behind. So 2, 3, 4, 5 lights as it jumps out of the back, and it's go, go, go for the Monaco Grand Prix. Here now, Esports has a good start by Liam and Falcone, even with the bad tire when goes for the outside. Nearly managed to get the car there. Ben goes up a position already. P4 nicely around the outside. So Falcone tried, couldn't manage in the back. We have a drive through by MB. Let the clutch out just too early, and Falcone drops some position. Jamboy already up to P2. In the back, Leo looked to be nearly going for the down inside line. In the back, for P15, we see Fams completely goes off, does a Rosberg. Interesting there. And that puts him down all the way to last place. Then we have side-by-side action between the Williams and the Alpine. They are going through each other, ghosting, that's so they're going. But damage for the Williams, that's a right-hand side end plate lost. Up in front, Falcone hasn't lost touch to Jumbo neither. His tire advantage still going strong after a lap like that. The tire temperature will be back up, but Liam takes that as an advantage to run away as soon as he can. Yes, will be available after the line now. So all across we saw a bit of jumping. Harvey, absolute spectacular start up into P13. From P19 down the grid, McLaren has got an amazing start. We see Cal going to pit lane, MB taking this drive through. Let's look up in front. The cars are starting to have a bit of gaps, but the next DS line will be on the start pretty straight. So not much advantage gained from DS, from the drag reduction system. Let's look at the possible strategies. 2-stop, medium, hard, medium, hard, or a 3-stop, hard, medium, soft. I believe the hard drivers will also try it with a 2-stop or even risk a 1-stop with hards to softs. 39 laps are quite a bit to be said though. So we might have a lot of action throughout the 39 laps. Bit of a mistake I believe there from the kick Sauber off Ben. Lost a bit on the Nouvelier chicane. And the cars have gotten out of shape altogether. The gaps have increased quite a bit from that starting line. But the closest car currently, Joker looking to maybe get Cook here with just 5 tenths. That's already close enough to maybe have a look with the S to go for turn 1 overtake. But Cook also has it. Oh, and the Red Bull loses the rear end and nearly smashes the one on the outside, but catches a car just as the wall starts. And that is quite a bit of time loss, but not too much. Only lost about 2 tenths through with that wheel spin. Through the left hander we go. The Red Bull, followed by a Haas, and following the Racing Bull kicks over, and MB gets another another penalty. Let's have a look what that is for. That's, I believe, another drive-through penalty. That is quite a... Maybe that was a glitch, but we see the Haas goes through for a drive-through penalty. Why that? What that is for, I cannot tell you. Either that or the game is glitching out and telling him he is constantly having drive-through penalties. Let's hope that is not the case. But Jamboy caught up quite a bit to Liam. There must have been a mistake by Liam there, because Jamboy caught a lot of time also from Falcone. So Jamboy not only gains for the leader, he's gained a lot of time also behind and caught himself a bit of a cushion. The Mercedes is out of the DS zone. After starting P2, that's quite a bit of a gap. But for P4, it is heating up quite a bit. Of course, the Kicksauber has slow DS, but the Red Bull all over that Kicksauber's rear end. Looks to maybe for turn 3. Stays behind. Now through turn 4. Looking to maybe get a good line. This is a good overtaking spot here. Hard braking though, but stays behind for now. Of course, through the hairpin is a bit difficult. Of course, there's only one line you can take here. Going side by side can get dangerous. Now through turn 7, it's a bit of a train here, following the Kicksauber. Now he had a good exit out of those couple corners that got himself a bit of a gap to the Red Bull. And that is going to be close by. Oh, nearly got under. This was a wall there, the Red Bull. Through the W chicane. Behind, you also have the Kicksauber, the Racing Bull following its sister team up in front. And that is quite a bit of action going here with the midfield for P5. Leo maybe looking to regain that P4 that he lost at the start of the race. And oh, the Racing Bull clatters the rear end of the Red Bull, but not damage on the V-carb. But that is a good chance now for the Red Bull. DRS goes looking for the inside, but stays behind for now. But there's barely no gap between the two. And oh, a lot of rear spin there by the Red Bull. Had the chance, but follows through. Now it's through turn 3. Goes right to Kicksauber, gets an opportunity for the Red Bull. And now the V-carb is also on the rear end there, but stays behind for now. And oh, the Kicksauber is all over the place, goes wide every corner. The pressure just building, and now the second Red Bull of Joker has caught up to the rear end as well. It's a 4-way battle for P4. Hyper is not far as well. After a few more laps of this battle, we might see a bit of an increase. But up in front, Liam has gained quite a bit of time to a Jamboy, but Falcone cannot catch. Those soft tires are struggling. Following now through Tapak. Oh, the Red Bull understeers into the wall and gives a good opportunity for the V-carb through the second part of the swim push chicane. 5 laps down, a lot more to go. And the battle here, we have also battle for P17, which basically is 2 AI drives, I think, going through each other. I believe both drivers have a internet connection error, have been I believe with these two drivers they have been disconnected. But let's go back up in front with Leo's mistake. The Kicksauber has gotten quite a bit of a gap. Oh, look at that, a man in the back. Hyper has been all around. Those hearts are not gaining temperatures. They're struggling with the grip. And now we're following the V-Cup sandwich in between the Red Bull. And it is quite a spectacular. The sister team being in between its sister teams. It's a Red Bull sandwich, if you see it like that. Of course, Red Bull owns that team as well. So let's have a look. Which team comes out on top here? And of course, Leo got the car time back onto the Kicksauber. It was only so far until the slipstream effect, even on a straight with low DS, helps the Red Bull to gain back the time. But this is what I'm talking about. In F124, Leo had way more opportunities, but the dirty air just makes it ever so more difficult to gain the time. But the recap is, the race kicks up is all over the place. There's a car already in the pit lane. That is the soft runner of Alpha Corner jumping in for an early stop. Of course, the soft tires can only last so many laps. And that is that car going back into the pit lane. Following now the battle for virtually P3. But of course, it will stay P4 after their stop, depending on how fast Alpha Corner can make it. Had a bit of a gap up in front as well. But we also see for a P9, a battle closing in between the Alpine and the Haas driver of William and Lewis. It's quite an opportunity here. Of course, that is the Haas starting to struggle on the soft compounds. The Alpine just needs to find an opening. Once those softs fully deteriorate to only have ever so much left, Lewis could find a spot, but up in front, that is still not cooling down at all. The Red Bull right on the rear end of the Kick Sauber, and the V-car being right on the rear end of the Red Bull. That is a car centipede following through here. And that is just a train of cars going through and through Rascas, and there is just a bit too much gap between the Red Bull and the Kick Sauber. The Kick Sauber has that advantage. There aren't many overtaking opportunities on this track. If you make a mistake, it's not proud to make you lose a position like it is on other tracks. William pits, as we saw those soft tires already struggling a lot. Harvey, the last driver out on the track with soft compound, is closing in on his pit stop. Two cars behind as well pitting. I believe there is the Love Magnet jumping in for a soft compound. There's yellow flags coming out of the pit lane there of the Haas. 10-second time penalty for cutting the corner. Interesting, because turn 1 pit lane does go through the corner. And oh, that is a bad line for the Red Bull. Let's have a look if the VCAP has a chance for him, but has lost a bit of time. What has happened there? Looking at the timing boards, we might have missed a mistake by the VCAP of Kirk. And that gives a chance to Joker being right on the end as well. But Kirk has the advantage and he has the DS from the Red Bull up in front as well. There's another mistake by the Red Bull of Leo. These two know each other from last season. They know how hard they're willing to fight for their position. But Kirk currently getting beaten by his teammate. That will help Jamboy jump up in the standings way more than Kirk would like to. Of course, 11 points entering the round. That would be way more if this is the finishing position. But there's still so much racing to do. Oh, and there's a wall tap by Kirk on the exit of turn 4. Jamboy has a time penalty. Time penalty by Jamboy. Let's have a look how much that is. A 3-second time penalty, but which, look at the gap, does absolutely nothing. But if there will be a safety car, the 3-second penalty will hurt Jamboy more than he'd like to. Now going for the tunnel section, it's bad here. Decided to calm down a little bit, as just in the Monaco environment, it's just not that easy to see cars going side by side or switching up positions. But Alpha Corner also a 3-second time penalty that will currently drop him a position for now. And there is a Kick Sauber going into pit lane for an early stop. Ben goes in for an undercut opportunity to maybe help himself get a bit of a bigger gap on Leo. But now that Leo's a clean air, he is a fast driver. He's shown his potential last season round. Let's have a look if he gains all the time on clean air. It was noticed that the Red Bull was struggling behind the Kick Sauber, not finding the time and the grip that he was looking for. But now there's clean air. Let's have a look if that will help him. Will Leo respond with that pit stop and go in now, or might the drivers behind respond with a pit stop? For P10, the battle is also starting to happen and grow between the Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes, and that is Ben, who just pitted coming out in traffic, which will hurt quite a bit, as Leo up in front is driving in clean air. Worn tires for sure, but clean air, which helps him way more than dirty air by drivers who are also on old tires. So there is Jamboy and Liam going to the pit. Who will come out in front of this? Liam. They're on the inside. They're inside of each other. But it is Liam coming just ahead. Leo stays out. Cook stays out. But behind, the drivers are pitting. Hyper has gone on the pit lane. He's taking the pit line. He's not pitted. That was interesting. Oh, collision between the two. Collision between Hyper and... I believe that was... who is Hyper? I believe Hyper is at a bit of a weird state here. That is Cook he has collided with. And Cook needs to fight away. But Hyper is on 10-year-old heart. But I saw him leaving the pit lane. But he was fighting for that position. So was that a bit of a... What has happened there? He's taking the pit exit line. Interesting for sure. But that has gained him just a bit of time. That's Hyper losing all sorts of range. That's another 3-second time penalty by Liam. So it's Liam, Jamboy who are currently fighting for provisional P1. And there's how the teammate. Oh, Liam sends it down the inside of Raskas. Jamboy follows through. Cook goes into pit lane. Leo stays out. There's all sorts of chaos going up out in front. 3-second time penalty for Lewis. Multiple warnings. That's track limits. Jamboy hopes to find a way past Liam. Leo, on the other hand, is staying out. Where is Cook? Where will Cook come out from? Ben. Cook is out. Where's Ben? Ben is nowhere to be seen. He's back in the pit lane. He's back in the pits. And I believe that could only mean he's repairing some sort of damage. Yes, he is. He was involved in some sort of accident. And that promotes... Cook and Leo up a position, and Hyper as well. Where's Hyper and Leo are staying out, 2 drives without a penalty, but Leo is absolutely holding up the leader. But that looks like a bit of an intentional pass. Oh, that was an internet connection. He has teleported really inside of the Aston Martin, which will make it difficult for Jambo to get past. Oh dear, there's a collision. Jambo is looking. Oh, no! Leo needs to pit and couldn't. Where is he? No, he has to reverse on the track. And that will hurt his P4 hopes. That is drama after drama. And that could be a penalty for Jambo. But the stewards will have to look at that one afterwards. Leo did not make himself in a position to make sure that he's going in the pit lane. He's gone wide out of Raskas. The rules state you need to make yourself noticeable that you're going for the pit lane. Leo didn't manage to make it noticeable enough for the V-Cup, but that lost the V-Cup a lot of time. But Leo drops all the way down to P11 after that one, and that must hurt. And he might have a talk with the stewards afterwards as well. Of course, we'll decide by the stewards if that was going to be penalty worthy or not. And who might get the penalty. But there is quite a bit of drama happening in the first pit stop stint of the race. We're nearing halfway conclusion of it. So 1 quarter down the race. First pit stop's down. And it will be Cook. After all that, Cook came on in P6. And that is a huge gap to the leaders. And that is, of course, Jambo with the fastest lap of the race. Tried to get all the time back that he lost to Leo with that incident. Liam had a better cutting through traffic. Of course, Jambo used all opportunities as well. Cook promotes himself up into P5. Hyper still out on those hards, but he was one of the only drivers who started on the hard compound. So he is looking to extend this first stint as much as he can to maybe look to not come out in traffic, but it might be difficult in Monaco. Monaco, it is always difficult. I heard a bit of contact somewhere on the track, and that is a Ferrari with no wing at all. That is Jumbo missing his entire front wing. That was, I think, the noise that I heard of a collision. Poor Ferrari has lost his front wing and needs to go back to the pit lane as soon as it can to not lose too much time. No virtual safety cars or safety cars yet to be seen. I believe the rules have changed ever since last round with a bit of confusion happening. So maybe in Monaco we might have a safety car, we might not. No big incidents have happened yet. The only biggest incident I do remember was Thumbs going off in turn 5, taking the runoff and reversing back on the track. And the second big one was Leo having to reverse back onto the track to go into the pit lane. Which, in Leo's perspective, I understand why he's done it, but according to the rules, that would have been a disqualification in real life. He should have gone on for one more lap. But that was quite a predicament to be said. In split second, need to think, what am I going to do? Am I going to... I was supposed to pit, I want to pit, but oh, that's a Haas in the back, touching the inside wall, but not retiring, not that we see the Alpine do in qualifying. So let's have a look how this race will grow on. A Haas is currently having a bit of a train behind him through the middle sector. That is William, followed by Joker, Leo, Hyper, Lewis, and Juan. There's a lot, no gaps at all, but William does seem to be on the oldest compound so far. Hyper has just pitted, so Hyper after his long hard stop has lost more time than Leo with that incident. So, ooh, there's a bit of a huge battle and train going on. That is Joker tapping the rear end of the Haas. He has the DS. He has the advantage. Will he use it? Oh, he's looking for the inside. There's also the Hyper going down yourself for Leo. They nearly made it work, but there was collision between the two. And he had to back out of that one. But he's trying again. He sends it down the inside. He has shown elbows. And he's barged his way through. Will that be a penalty? Will this switch? We might not know, but he has gone past, and now he has another Red Bull to go past. But Leo might not be happy in that car. That was a bit of an aggressive overtake, to be said for sure. But on Monaco, it's either that or it's nothing, knowing from experience. So let's have a look how it will go on now. A bit of a huge train still going on here. Lewis and Juan have fully caught up now, but up in front they have started to increase the gap a bit from Leo. So Leo has lost a bit of time out of that. There's a yellow flag. That's MB in the wall, and a kick Sauber of Thumbs involved as well, and he's lost his front wing. Might have tried to do the same overtake opportunity that the Aston Martin had, but no, there's a safety car, full safety car released out onto the track, and there's a 3-second time for Joker, who will take this opportunity to go for a free stop. There are some cars out on old tires who could advantage from this. Alfa Corner, who has started the soft compound, could go for the hard and finish the race on that compound. But up in front, of course, there's another hard compound available. MB retires from the race, and Thumbs gets a 10-second penalty for cutting the corner. Or if he has cut Nouvelle chicane. And so we see Liam takes opportunity. Jamboy does it and stays out. Thinks that's maybe better to stay out on that compound. Let's have a look for the Mercedes driver. Will he take this opportunity? Yes, he will. And goes into the pit lane. Behind. Who else will take it? Who else will take the opportunity to go into the pit lane for the safety car? Cook does. Will Harvey follow through? Harvey had an amazing race so far, starting in all the way down in last place.
si era aumentato a quello di sopra.
Yeah, so in last place, it's going up into P5. So now we have the pit. It's Perch who is down in P13. Might he take a P2 as well? So let's have a look. Stays out. A few drivers staying out. So does. Am I seeing this correctly? Liam on the intermediate tire. He is on the intermediate tires. What is going on here? Our race leader has gone onto the intermediate tires. And I only have one answer to this. He might have misclicked. He might have gone one button too far and gone onto the intermediate tires. Which is an interesting decision. And yeah, he has to pit again, and that is his hopes for the win all out. That is how much a misclick does for how's happening? Misclick. He's lost all the positions. So now, that is interesting. He will come out in P4 behind his teammate. And Jamboy is our new leader of the race. Because he's still the old hard compound of the that he's gone after his first stop. And so let's see where that will bring him. And now Liam says this game has it out for me. Yeah, that is a mistake for the game. I think he just accidentally clicked one too far and has gone onto the intermediate compound. So how long until the safety car? It might be a few laps behind the safety car. A few laps to calm down, take a breath, and just regain your thoughts to see where you might come out. Look at the strategy so far. It can go all over the place. Some cars have freshly pitted, like Alfa Corno. Liam has also freshly pitted as well. You might see, even with that mistake, him jumping up a few. Of course, he's taking a free stop, which will help him stay in on those hards. But Liam will have. He's got a medium compound. It is possible to stay out on those tires, and that is what is happening. The Williams just gone and gets himself disqualified. It's Purse, I've seen, has been told to get himself to retire from the session. And interesting, this is how it's going. A lot more drama happening, and let's have a look how this is going now. That is quite interesting to be said for sure. So now, how will this go on? Jamboy will be our leader of the race. Alfa Corno puts himself up into P2, but Hyper on the old mediums might not be able to complete this race on that compound of tires. He might be looking to go for a soft compound again, or looking to really preserve the tires to maybe bring it back to the end of the session. Safety car in this lap, so let's have a look who will come out, who will get a good start. Of course, Monaco safety car starts. There isn't much to take advantage from. Of course, the line is pretty much at the end of the straight. And then into turn 1, there is, I think, the first and only opportunity for drivers to maybe take it, unless you see an aggressive overtake into turn 3, as we saw before. So Jamboy will take it away in the VE Cup Racing Ball. And that was an amazing start by the recap. And in the back, we already see some... What has happened there by Leo? He's gone down in a lot of ghosting cars. That is something the lapped cars that couldn't unlap themselves at the start, dropping all the way down. And Leo had a bad restart. That is an interesting one for sure. He's dropped down all the way to P12. Up in front we have for P4, we see an overtake. Cook overtakes Hyper. Hyper has lost a lot of time, drops down 2 positions. Liam went up into P3. He is on the medium compound. He might be looking to get it back. So here we go. Through the Novalia chicane. The Mercedes looked for the inside, but then went back for the racing line and couldn't get it done. But here we go. Freeway battle for the lead. Hyper gets a 3-second time penalty. Cook is the only driver in this mix who has no time penalty. If he manages to keep it up in that gap, he might be able to get the win just by staying in the time penalty zone. With that tires, he's getting man for the inside. Goes Liam under the Mercedes. He's taking an opportunity and he's gone past. He's done it. He's gone past for P2. And now Liam only rival now is Jam Boy. And there's a retirement. Joker has hit the wall. Now he's gone into pit lane to retire. Another retirement for the race. A shocking retirement to say the least. But Liam needs to have a look. If he can get in front as soon as possible, he needs to get on tire saving as soon as he can. The more he waits, the less chance there is. So now through the hairpin. Oh, there is Jambo getting very slowly through the hairpin. Liam practically pushing him through it. And through the right-hander. Liam stays behind, but now through the tunnel section, could he have a chance? Looks for the inside, looks for the outside, looks for the inside, looks for the outside, and now finally sticks to it for the outside. He's pushed, cuts the corner. Will it be enough? Will he have to give the position back? He's side by side, and yes, he gives the position back, and the Mercedes had a look to maybe go past there as well, but couldn't. Liam puts his car perfectly back to go for another opportunity. Through Novalish, through Raskas, pushes to Racing Ball one more time, and there's a huge train in the back. Jamboy, I believe, is doing everything in his power to help Cook lose as little time as possible. That could be a bit of a team battle here. Liam, another 3-second time penalty. He's, I believe, now on 6 seconds of penalties. He is, and that will hurt him quite a bit. He's going for the collision again. Liam is very aggressive, looking for every opportunity to go past. But Jamboy is not making it easy at all. If this is how the race finishes, it will be a 1-2 Racing Ball with Cook finishing first. We have passed the halfway mark, and it will all be so careful. There's another yellow flag. That was the kick Sauber. Have no mistake and retires in the pit lane, as rules do say. If you retire for non-car issues, you need to do so in the pit lane. And so he does go in the pit lane and retired. So now we have again for the lead of the race. Liam looks for it, follows through of Jamboy, but stays behind. And now follows back. Oh, a lot of wheel spin there. And FL Goda could have a chance now. Could get the boost. Uses a battery, but goes and saves it up towards turn 1. And need careful there in 38. You can't understand easily into the wall. But now going up the hill towards turn 3. Liam follows Jamboy through. This is where last time around he tried to attempt but couldn't get it together. But that is a mistake by Jamboy. And so Liam looks for the outside. Could be looking for the switchback for the hairpin. But no opportunity here, so stays behind. Will Liam have a look? Not quite. Jamboy stops basically on his track to go through the hairpin. It's all legal here. But Cook is starting to drop down a little bit. Leo goes fastest lap of the race, 112.3. He's gone for a new set of softs after the safety car. And that is, oh, look at the front wing camera. That is really, really close between the two rivals here for the leader of the race. Of course, Jambo being a championship leader, and Liam looking to gain as many points as he can to get closer to Jamboy. Jamboy's not making it easy at all. He's placing the car at every perfect opportunity he can. Of course, he knows he doesn't need to have the pace to stay in first. As a good reminder, in 2018, Daniel Ricciardo had loss of engine power, but still managed to win the race with a slower car, and that is what Jambo is currently hoping can make it work. Of course, Jambo being on old hards, he really needs to make whisper those tires till the end. Liam, on the other hand, is pretty aggressive on those medium compounds. He also needs to look that he needs to bring it back to the end of the race as well. Up in the back, it's basically all a train here. The train of all cars goes up till Lewis, and then has a big gap between them. And from Bernoulli, of course, one I haven't seen lots, but he has been disconnected from the race. It's just as an AI driving. Has been basically in an AI battle with Jake's AI. So these two are always close together on track. But here we go for the lead of the race. Will Liam find that one smidge opening that he really needs? Or maybe Alpha Coda could find the opportunity as well. Cook only needs to keep the car close by. And that's Liam again going wide, trying to switch back. But Jambo just slows the car down perfectly to not let Liam find that opening. Alpha Coda is right in the end, and that could be it. That could be it for the inside, but no, stays behind for now. Liam keeps P2. Entering lap 26 out of 39. Then for the lead of the race here, it's all or nothing. Liam knows with that 6-second time penalty, he will drop down a lot of positions. He will drop down to all the way to 6th, to 7th even. But that is, if there's no time, I believe he will drop down to 5th after the penalties will be handed out. So let's have a look. Jamboy only needs to keep that car there in front. Maybe if he manages to get a 3-second gap on his teammate, that could save him a lead and a win. But of course they are teammates, and VCAP is leading the champion. But Liam, again, another 3-second time penalty. Liam is absolutely furious at the car. He's going for everything. He's looking for every opening. Openings that aren't even there. Through Razkaz pushes Jamboy, which seems to become a bit of a trend now. Oh, hits the inside with his rear tires. And that is... Oh! He's taken out the Mercedes! That looked to be either a takeout, not on purpose, or the Mercedes just tried to look for it, lost to it, and hit the one. It's another full safety car. Full safety car released again. And now it's just a huge opportunity for the drivers who are on old tires to go for one fresh set of mediums for the drivers who do have them, or a fresh set. Any fresh set does work except for soft tires. They will struggle to make it till the end. But it is another safety car, and so it is back to it again. So who will take this advantage? Who will take the opportunity? So that is a lot of DNFs. Even on a clean race like this, we still have quite a bit of DNFs going through. Here. So how will this go on? What will happen now? We see Jamboy goes through and jumps in the last second. Liam goes. Jamboy, 10-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Oh dear. If he's lucky, he might be able to surf the penalty. No, he's not. 10 seconds. Oh, this will hurt him a lot. That's a championship leader getting a big penalty to his name. Big penalty. And that will hurt him a lot. So he's come out in P4, has a 13-second time penalty, all added together. Liam has 9, and Cook, absolutely amazing race, kept his cool, kept his focus together, and this shows that, you know, You don't have to be the fastest car. Of course, Cook knows he often has is the fastest driver. You just don't have to be the fastest driver to have the luck in your way for the race win. Racing is way more than driving fast, and Cook is a prime example of keep your cool, keep your head down, and you have a good chance. While Liam is an example of this. Once you get too heated, mistakes do pile up. And today's Monaco Grand Prix is a bit of a life lesson for everyone watching. And so, a big jump in all. And Cook could be gaining enough points to maybe match his teammate. Or, depending what Jamboy will end, maybe jump up his standings and maybe fight and maybe go into the leader, be the leader of the championship. The V-Cubs are having an interesting race today. So this into shadows are a bit weird. Don't mind that. But it's an interesting battle here for the lead of the championship between the V-Cubs. That seems like it being a genuine mistake by Jamboy, having just activated the pit limit just a tiny late and speeding in the pit lane. And so, it sadly puts him all the way down. It's currently in P4. Of course, look at all the penalties. Let's see how much he will lose. So he will drop P5, drop P6, and of course, as I said, he might be dropping all the way down. He, of course, might be lucky to keep that car in the points. If he doesn't keep in the points, Cook will gain the lead championship. The championship lead, pardon me, switch words. And with 10 laps to go, of course, the Sergio probably being out for 1 to 2 more laps. It is going to be a one final showdown between all the drivers. Liam needs to find a 9-second gap to Cook. He has done it once. He has at the start of the race. With 10 laps, you could have a chance. Cook just needs to keep that car in a 9-second gap. If he does that with no penalties, he is good to go for the win of the race. Jamboy could have a chance. He could be looking to go maybe into surface penalty, or he really needs to fight his way back up and basically do what Liam does. Find a huge, get a huge skill advantage, I say like that. More, he needs to find the time getting past and just use all of his knowledge of the car and all of the skill to get himself up to a huge lead, or a good lead to his teammates and the drivers behind, to maybe gain a good handful of points. But the win of the race could have fallen out of his hands as well. Currently, it is either in Liam's hands if he managed to get a 9-second lead to Cook, or if Cook managed to keep himself inside that gap, it could be going to Cook. All on for 10 laps. If this is it, we look at the mini-map, all the cars have basically caught up. We might see Safeguard in this lap as soon as Tabak comes round. Of course, the Tabak being turn 12, the left-hander after the chicane here. So, will it be safety in this lap? Look at the gaps behind. It does seem that everyone has caught back up. And it is safety in this lap. It will be 10 laps of pure racing here in Monaco. No more strategy plays. Liam, old mediums, out. Cook, older hearts, but kept in better condition. Lewis being on the same hearts as Cook. Jamboy being on fresh mediums, and he really needs to use that advantage. So here we go. It is a start by Liam, nicely done. And so we go through turn 1. In the back, that's Jamboy already fighting Lewis. And so he goes past immediately. Jamboy does not lose any time at all. He's already behind his teammate. Will there be any team orders? Will his teammate be kind, leaving by to fight Liam in front? Jamboy seems to, of course, right now it's a bit tough to just leave your teammate by. Will it happen? Or will it be pure racing between the two teammates? So through to happen. Now through turn 7. Liam has already had a good start out of the safety car. Cook just needs to keep it together. And I believe here it goes. No, Cook stays ahead. Will it happen here? Will Jambo use tire advantage? He is staying behind. Still less than a second gap between the two. So that's a good exit by Jamboy. And Cook leads him by. But again, he just can't lose more than 9 seconds to Liam. That is already a second lost. But Jamboy looks to go as fast as possible. Oh, that's a loss of end by Liam. And Jamboy could have a look at the SOB available next lap round. Could have helped Jamboy quite a bit here. So he's going through turn 1, follows through, charges his battery. Of course, that's what you do. Oh, that's a bad exit by Liam. Oh, they collide. Oh, that could have been all over. That could have been the end for the two of them. Jamboy catches the car, but he is now using elbows, track tactics here to get past. Just using barges his way, as people would say, but stays behind for now. And Liam is already 1.5 seconds up to Cook. Keeping this pace up, Cook could be in a bit of trouble here. Cook just seems to just be looking to keep the car in that spot. So here we go. Goes for the inside, Jamboy. And he does it. Very nice overtake. And slows Liam down with it as well. Cook gains a bit of time. And now Jamboy, all he needs to do is go as fast as he's ever gone. He needs to gain about 10 seconds to Cook. Oh, Liam is actually struggling on those old mediums. And this is the advantage that Jamboy needs. There is already 2 seconds nearly. He has 7 laps to go. 7 laps. Can Jamboy keep it? Up in the back, let's have a look at Liam. And also, Cook, of course, if he loses a position, it's not all over. He can stay 3 seconds behind Hyper as well. Cook's only thing he needs to worry about is stay 9 seconds between him and Liam. And if Hyper goes past, he has to stay 3 seconds between him, Hyper, and the 9 seconds to Liam. Jamboy up ahead has, of course, pace advantage. Look at the time. He's already gained 2 seconds up onto Liam. The dying stage of the race are all to be played for the lead of the race. Pardon me. Look at it. Cook's on board. That is Hyper going for the inside. Collides with Cook. And that's another 3-second time penalty for Hyper. That's a 6 seconds. It so is. So Cook is just... Cook and Leo, the two drivers, currently clean us out, not getting any penalties. And that is what Cook just needs. He's already 1.5 seconds down to Liam. Liam made a mistake through there, and that is time going back by Cook. Follows through into lap 34. Jamboy gets another 3-second time penalty. No, this is not what he needs. He now needs to increase his gap by a whole lot more. So it is now 16 seconds penalty for Liam. He needs to have a 7-second gap to Liam. Pardon me, Jamboy has a 60-second. He needs to have a 7-second gap to Liam to get his position. And 16 seconds gap to Cook to have a chance for the win. But I believe it's just going to be 10-second gap to him and Hyper to look for P3. If he does that, he might have a chance, of course, to Liam. He's only 4.5 seconds ahead. Look at that. Liam is absolutely flying. Absolutely gone he is. He's going extremely... He's not looking behind at all. He's turned his inner Schumacher, and he is Mr. Monaco. Pardon me, that's, of course, Graham Hill. He is Mr. Monaco. Here, looking through. And that's it. Oh, Liam hits the wall there. Liam is struggling all over, and with that wheel spin, he really needs to look out that those rear tires actually make it till the end. Jake and Fromano is still battling those ghosted AI cars. But with those mistakes, if Liam makes both those mistakes, Jamboy has a chance. He's already 6 seconds ahead of Liam. One more and he's ahead of Liam. And 10 more he is ahead of Cook. I know it sounds much, but look at this. In 5 laps, he's already gained 7 seconds. He could be looking to maybe gain P4 and lose do as little damage as possible. So now 35 out of 39. It's all here, all to be played for. Jamboy's only thing they need to do is focus and drive as fast as he can. Cook's only objective is to drive as clean as he can and stay to Liam, and Liam, to get the win, needs to pick up the pace. He needs to gain a second back and get a 9 seconds to Cook. Liam's chances are as good as gone. Jamboy is currently up into P5, if we say like this, P4 because he gets ahead of Liam. If he gains a few more seconds, he can gain P3. And it will be a double podium for VCAP, but it will be Harvey, who started an all down in last place, put himself into P2. And I think my calculations are correct. Of course, we will see once in 3 laps the race is over. And look at that, Jambo is he's already 10 seconds ahead of Cook, and that could also already be maybe the gap that he needs to save himself P3. He has so many more laps to go. He can do it. Cook, on the other hand, is also managing his gap perfectly. Ben on the at the end is maybe looking to get the position on Jumbo. If he gets past here, he could get himself P7. Of course, Ben was fighting for P4 at the start of the race, but sadly with a few mishaps on the pit stop strategy, he is sadly demoing himself down into P8. I'm still having my eye on the gaps here. 10 seconds now to Liam. Nearly has Jambo. There we go. Across the 10-second mark. Cook is still in the 1 second gap. That's actually really good. He keeps himself in the DS, but that's happening. What's happening? Oh no! Liam spins. Liam spun. He's off, and he rejoins back at P6. I was more looking for the gap between Cook and Hyper, but Liam, commentator's curse, right as I jump on him, spins round, and that is him completely out of any chance for podium or anything. And Ben is off. Ben is off. No more safety cars as it's too close to the end. Does he have the front wing? He has a front wing, but lost his left end plate. Okay, now it's a better look. 19 seconds penalty for Jamboy. 12 seconds gap to Cook. 2 more laps to gain about 5 seconds. Oh, there's a lot of wall hitting there. Jamboy could be looking to get P3 here. Let's add it up. Jamboy needs to get about 2 more seconds to Harvey to secure himself that podium spot. Liam, on the other hand, I believe that is completely his. That was just hot-headed driving. That's a mistake that just happens with all the mistakes that piled up. It sadly is like a 10-second spin in the pit lane. I believe that is him going to retire from the race. Is it him retiring? You might see it soon. Yes, there it is. He's retired from the session. And so Liam, our race leader at the start of the race, after mistakes and issues, retires from the race. And now it's Jamboy and Cook. A 1-2 currently for racing. Of course, the 10 seconds. Sad to see that added up on Jambo, but Jambo would have had a 9-second penalty anyway without the 10 seconds. But look at that. With that gap, Cook needs to. Jambo got another 3-second time penalty. We missed it. Oh, what is going on there? That's Hyper cut in the corner. And he's still got a 3-second time penalty. He slowed down, hoping to not get a penalty. And that's it. Harvey. Oh dear, I can't make the maths now. It's the final lap of the race. Jambo has started the final lap of the race. Cook is nearly 15 seconds down, and with this it might be looking to go in Cook's favor, but not championship wise. Jambo could still have enough gap to get to P3 and minimize the damage done with that 10-second time penalty. Harvey is looking to secure himself P3 if the gap now stays this way, but it is looking difficult. Yellow sector 3, and that is Jake. That is not Jake, that is the Alpine of Juan doing Juan? No, that's the Alpine of Lewis. Pardon me, I said Juan because I looked him up. Lewis making mistakes, and at the end of the race, it is all sorts of mistakes coming through. But on board with Jamboy, the driver who kept it together. I know I'm saying that he's going to win the race, but sadly he is not. The gap is not enough. But he will be the first driver to cross the finish line. So going through Raskas. I believe another driver has retired. So here we go. The Visa cash up, and so unserved penalty, 10 seconds more. Oh dear. Is this going to be enough? Kirk is going to cross the line to win in Monaco. 2 in a row. He's done it last season. He wins. Where's Harvey going to be? Stays P3. And Jambo, it's a 1-2. It's a 1-2 for the Racing Bulls. Incredible. Incredible work. Leo, finished P8. Ben will cross the line to finish in P8. Juan in P9. And Lewis behind, after a bit of a forgetful race, sadly, finished in the final points position. But it is a double. 1-2. It's a 1-2 for V-Cup. And a double Monaco win for Kirk, keeping his pressure together and keeping it all in. And it is incredible. Kirk, a driver to look up to. That was amazing driving. And so ends the Monaco Grand Prix. After an amazing and hectic and drama-filled weekend, it is going to be a 1-2 for the V-Cups and a win for Kirk. And that will diminish the gap between him and the championship lead. Jamboy will keep it. Of course, we'll see what afterwards when the stewards' decisions come through, what the final finishing position will be. In the next race at the start, I will go through the standings, of course, one more time, as I will do for all the races. But this was an incredible and amazing race. Congratulations to all the drivers and congratulations to Kirk to win here in Monaco. It was a race winner here, Kirk. Fastest lap by Leo. Driver of the day is set for the game for Harvey. Most overtakes set by Harvey. And the cleanest driver, Kirk, of course. That shows just how well he's done. So Kirk wins, gains 25 points. Jamboy follows with 18 points. Then Harvey in P3, William in P4 and a half. One driver that rarely got the camera on him. Very great result. Hype in P5, sadly after a bit of an issue at the end of the race. Jimbo in the Ferrari, good result there. Leo, sadly with a bit of pit stops, problems, finishes P7. Ben in P8, Juan in P9, and Lewis makes a top 10. So that is how our race ended. And that was round 4. Here in season 4 of Owls Esports. I was a commentator, Captain Foxy, and I am ecstatic to see how the next Grand Prix will go. So that was an amazing weekend, so to speak. It was an amazing race to have looked over, and with that, I sign out now. Good morning, good day, good evening, good night to everyone watching. And with that, it will be see you later.